everybody, and welcome to Red Sky Pods, where today we're going to be discussing Liverpool's home clash with Newcastle and the team news. So first of all, Dave, I'll come to you. The team news is Alisson in goal, Trent and Robbo at fullback, Kabak and Fabinho at centre-back. Then it's Thiago, Gini, and who's the other one?
No, I don't think there is anyone.
He's
No,
playing the
that's
whole.
it.
He's playing the full
Right,
four.
that's right. And then we've got the front four of Jota, Mane, Firmino, and Salah. So it looks like the boss is going for it today. So, Dave, I'll come to you first. What do you think of the team news?
Like you just said, Ian, I think we got to go for it anyway. We've no choice. We've got to win the last 6 games to have any chance of getting top 4. Front 4 is going to be interesting who he plays in midfield, like just behind the front 3. Maybe be Bobby. I say Bobby be behind the front 3 to feed the likes of Jota, Mane, and Salah. Salah's a great record against Newcastle, expected to score today. It won't be easy. Newcastle are a good side. They've what have you got? 7 points in the last 3 games. Your man Maxim up front is a handful. We got to keep an eye on him. There's no Phillips, as you know. So Fabinho and Kabak are the 2 boys at centre half today. But it's going to be an interesting game, guys. I just think we need the 3 points no matter what way. I don't care if it's an OG in the last minute. Just got to take 3 points today because there's a big one later with Chelsea and West Ham. So we just got to get the 3 points and put the pressure on the other boys.
So, Zane, your reaction to the team news, and what do you think about Fabinho playing a centre-back? Where's Davis? Is he just there to make up the numbers, or...?
Yeah, I'm not sure why we signed Davis, to be fair. I think he's just been, really shocking in training because we know that Klopp likes to give opportunity to people who train well, but obviously he hasn't. So Fabinho has to come in, and it's a loss in midfield, but we just have to see how this will work in the formation with 2 midfielders, how it will work, and maybe we won't miss him that much. But regarding the formation in general, I think front 4, I always wanted to see it, so I think we're just going for it. I agree with Dave, we have to put pressure on West Ham and Chelsea and just have, I hope we can have a really good performance because there will be nothing else on our minds with this European Super League done and dusted, so we can just concentrate on the top 4.
So, Dave, on the potential protests that could possibly take place outside the ground today, how do you think they could affect our team today?
I seen the bus arriving there on Twitter. I seen a video of it, and they actually clapped. They clapped the bus into the ground, by the way. So there was no shouting and roaring. They actually clapped them down the Anfield Road, and they drove in, no problems at all. I think they'd be okay. The players weren't at fault. Klopp wasn't at fault. It was the owners at fault, guys. Let's be fair. So I don't think Klopp will have any worries at all. And the fan base know that of the 6 clubs. It's the owners. I mean, Arsenal, they've seen the fans yesterday outside Arsenal, but they've wanted Kroenke out for a long, long time. Same with the Glazers. They've been wanted out for the last 10 years. So there's nothing new there. But no, they actually clapped the bus in today. I don't know whether I was surprised, but we can't blame the team, Ian. I mean, Klopp didn't even know anything about it. I mean, it's a weird situation. It's been a crazy few days. I haven't even slept well, especially Monday. I was all over the shop. I couldn't even watch the Leeds game.
Yeah.
It was the first time in 35 years I felt weird watching a Liverpool game. I didn't know whether to watch it. Now, I had it on, obviously, but I just wasn't as intent out with the microscope. You know what I mean? I was just weird.
How does it feel, Zane, having been allowed to talk about on the field matters rather than off the field matters?
Yeah, I think it's kind of really, really good that we can again concentrate on what's actually what matters and not question someone's integrity or whatever. I just want to talk about what happens on the field. I want to talk about referees, VAR, like we used to do. So it makes it more interesting. Of course, like I won't go in too much depth about VAR and stuff, but it's really good that we can again concentrate on what really matters.
Very good point, very good point. So, Dave, can Liverpool get top 4? Does our fight for top 4 start today? Is this the big fight from today?
I think our fight started a few weeks ago, to be honest, Dean. I mean, but I mean, it gives us an added impetus now with this European Super League debacle that's been going on the last few days. We can all just concentrate all our energies on 6 games. We've no European football. We've nothing else to concentrate. We've good gaps between games. We've a big one against United next weekend, of course, the old rivalry there. So today at Anfield, we got a bit more mojo back at Anfield than we had, so I'm not as worried. The good thing about Newcastle is they'll come at us. They won't sit back. They won't low block. They'll play a bit of football. They're a decent side. It should be it always is a good game. It always is a good game between Liverpool and Newcastle. We've had some epics over the past years. Obviously, the fans will be missing. That's huge. But I think 3 points is huge. As I said, Chelsea play West Ham. There's big games coming up for the other teams. We just got to do what we got to do. Pick the best team we think is good enough to beat them. Any team on the day. Get the 3 points. Either way, I'd like a performance, of course. A 3-4-0 and a great performance and all this. But 1-0 dodgy last-minute goal, it doesn't bother me. It's all about points. Points mean prizes, my friend.
Zane, could the what's gone on in the past week and the togetherness shown by the Liverpool team on the Monday, could that help us? Could you see a more together combined team?
I think what really might help us is Klopp and the players seeing that the fans are actually behind them, like that they were clapped in the stadium and there were no boos or anything. That might help them, and I think, well, it will massively help them that they don't have to think about anything else, just about getting the points, getting the top 4, and not worrying about being booed at and all that kind of stuff. So they can really concentrate, and they don't have to, as Dave said, think about European football or anything like that. Well, in case if Madrid still plays, maybe we'll get Champions League semi-final if they are banned from it. You never know, but probably it's not going to happen. So yeah, we can just concentrate on top 4 right now.
Dave, who are your big threats there for Newcastle today? You mentioned Maxim before. Who else do we need to be wary of?
Well, obviously Maxim is the maximum threat, but I mean, he's the danger man. He's a big fella. Listen, I mean, Newcastle, they've had a weird season too. I mean, everyone's had a weird season, probably except for City. But I mean, everybody's had their ups and downs. Newcastle, I think, are safe anyway. I know they're saying they might need another win, but I think Newcastle are pretty safe, to be fair. He's done a great job there, Steve Bruce, of course. They've had problems with their ownership, as we've known as well. They have a great, proper fan base, really, don't they, the Geordies? I don't really see huge threats from Newcastle other than your man Maxime. He makes them tick. I mean, you've seen what he's done when he came back. When he's on the pitch, they're a different team. I just think we got to play our game in. We just got to concentrate on ourselves, play our game, and we'll win today. If the front 3 tick, front 4 tick, we'll win. You know, it's as simple as that. I said 2-0 in the podcast recently. I'll go 2-0, hopefully keep a clean sheet. It'd be another bonus. But I just think 3 points today is huge because we're running out of games. There's only 6 games left, and United away next week won't be easy. I'm not saying today's easy, but it's a home game, and we've a great record against Newcastle. So 3 points is an absolute must today. But Maxim, for me, is the maximum threat.
Zane, just moving away from today's game, it was all over Twitter yesterday. It seems that Liverpool have wrapped up the sign for next season of Konate. What do you think of that signing?
Yeah, I think it's really, really good. And people who were talking about his injury record, it wasn't really that accurate, the stats people were looking at, because it included like breaks and stuff. So I think it's a really good signing. I think for the future, it's a steal. I think everyone else is biting their fingers and thinking, why couldn't they get a deal like that done? Because next to Van Dijk, Gomez, and whoever else we will get next season, I think he can turn into a world-class centre-back.
Same question to you, Dave. What do you think of the potential sign of Konate?
Ibrahima Konate, RB Leipzig centre-half. He's 6'4". He's a big unit, similar to Van Dijk. Imagine him and Van Dijk, two towers. But unbelievable. He's potentially brilliant. I mean, I've seen him a few dodgy times actually for Leipzig recently. Once he was mentioned with Liverpool, he'd 1 or 2 rough games. But I mean, potentially going forward, he's absolutely brilliant. I mean, it'll fill the gap there, won't it? I mean, you'll have potentially Gomez back. You'll have Van Dijk back, of course. I think Kabak's a done deal. There's no way you turn away from the signing of an international at 21, a Turkish international. He can only get better. So I think they'll get him. They'll take that. And because, I mean, you have to think Matip is injury prone. He'll probably go. So Phillips and the young Reece Williams probably go out on loan. So I think Kanate will just suit us beautifully. I mean, 33 million. It's not. I'm not saying it's a low amount of money, but I think it's a steal for the potential that he's got. And it's really, really, really good signing for Liverpool. And hopefully there's a few more to come in the summer.
Just want to say, reply to Jack McKindle, yeah, we're really excited for this game as well. So, Dave mentioned Kabak. There's Anne. Do you think if we're signing Kanate, that affects the Kabak deal, or do you think they'll bring both of them in?
I still think we will bring both of them in. I think they'll be even able to get him maybe lower than 18 million. I think they will definitely try, but I think regardless, even if it is the 18 million, they will buy him because Klopp likes him even after a bit of a shaky start, which of course makes sense. He's been stable and he's been performing every game, so I think that would be a big mistake not to sign him as well.
Just before you go, both want to ask you the same question. I'll ask you it first, Dave, and I don't think we could talk this morning without mentioning what has gone on in the past week and our owners. So I just want to ask you, Dave, what side of the fence do you stand on regarding FSG? Do you think it's time for them to go? Do we draw the line in the sand and say, listen, this was a massive mistake. We need to move on from it. Your trust's broken, but you can earn our trust back. What do you think we do next, Dave, regarding FSG?
Okay, well, it's a complicated answer, but I'll try to keep it as easy and not as an equation. It's like a mathematical equation. The question is, right, let's look at FSG, what they've done the last 10 years. I mean, look at Hicks and Gillette back in 2010. They were an absolute cowboys, basically, American owners. They came in, stripped the club. We almost went into administration. We were close. We were in trouble. FSG came in. They've done an unbelievable job, has to be said. They've made mistakes. The furlough last year, of course, was a big one. But this 6 European Super League team was even bigger. I mean, I just can't understand. Billionaire owners with intelligence, remember, these guys, they're business savvy, would walk blindfolded into something as stupid as this without insulting anybody, without consulting anybody, insulting instead of consulting. That's what they did. And I think FSG aren't going anywhere, Ian, to be fair, because, I mean, the club is worth nearly 5 billion on the open market. Whether it's really worth that, I don't know. Redbird Capital are coming in as well. I think, who do you want? Do you want FSG out? But who do you get in? Do you get an oil boys in? Do you get an oligarch in Russia sitting on his yacht in Mediterranean who'll strip the club bare? I mean, I'm not saying I trust FSG, but I don't know. I think it's better the devil, really. I can't see them going anywhere soon. I think eventually they probably will go because they've burnt a lot of bridges. But to be fair, guys, they've done a lot of good. They've done an awful lot of good. I'm not FSG in or out. I'm more or less sitting on the fence. And let's see how they go this summer, because this is a big summer for FSG. I've said it at Christmas, this is a big summer for FSG. It's even bigger this summer. And they're going to have to bring in one or two to appease a few fans. But guys, just be careful what you wish for. That's all I can say.
And same question to Zuzanne. Where do you sit with FSG at the moment? I know you're doing a lot of FSG out stuff on Twitter. Are you still standing by that?
Well, I've never really said FSG out. I just don't really get people who still back them without saying that they've done something wrong. Like, I agree with Dave. And as Klopp said yesterday, I'd rather work out the problems with people I know than to get someone I don't know and have potentially the same problems and then have to deal with those problems with people you don't know. So, yeah, after like Sunday, Monday, me being as hot-headed as I am, I was completely, I was thinking there is no way they can come back from this. And many people like Jamie Carragher were saying they don't see Henry stepping foot in Anfield and what's going to happen to him there. But at the same time, it's hard to just say, FSG out, and then yeah, exactly, who's gonna come in, who's gonna buy us, what is the best option for us, who do we want, because I don't think the German 50+1 would happen anytime soon. I don't think it would here in England, but I don't know, like potentially maybe more like 40 to 60 to have them out, but they will probably be out in next year or two because, yeah, as Dave said, they burned bridges. But maybe let's just take a step back, evaluate what happens from now on, and then just see, because we can't be as hot-headed and just make rash decisions, because it's a big club, it's a big responsibility, so we just have to be careful.
I've seen a lot of people saying, Dave, that it's going to be hard for FSG and the guys to step back in Anfield. Do they make a big statement by getting on a plane and flying over there and doing the opposite what everybody thinks and coming and meeting with a few groups? So, I mean, I'm not saying it will happen, but would that make the right sort of statement?
No, well, they've got a good excuse, which is COVID. I mean, they can just drop the COVID excuse and say, well, you know, it's not safe. And I mean, Henry isn't exactly a young spring chicken either. So, no, I think they're better off just sitting in the background watching. I mean, the worst, you could have been incendiary coming in and make things worse by saying the wrong thing or meeting the wrong people. Or I think you're better off. No, yeah, the club should be liaising with the fans a lot more. The top 6 clubs, whatever you want to call them, the elite 6 should be maybe should have a fan on the board or a liaison fan on the board or something like that. Because I think these guys, let's be fair, they're in a billionaire bubble. They're a billionaire. They don't think like us. They don't even eat like us. They caviar sandwiches in the morning, prawn cocktail sandwiches at night, champagne. Probably don't even drink champagne, but you know what I mean. These guys are on a different planet. They're not millionaires. They're billionaires. So they don't think like us. They're doing their own thing. But as I said, who do you get in? I mean, these guys, FSG have done very good for the club a lot. They've done a bit wrong as well. No one's perfect. But at least Henry came out with some sort of apology where the others didn't. I mean, if you look at Madrid, they're still in the bloody Super 6 trying to still push it. Juventus as well and Milan teams. What the hell are they at? They're idiots. And I think UEFA are going to do those because they haven't even pulled out officially, by the way. You know that, don't you? So yeah. I just say stick tight, hold tight, get involved with the fans a lot more. Liverpool used to be involved with the fans. That's what hurts us more, I think. Liverpool being, you know, the people's club and being the, you know, socialist Liverpool City. Klopp being so involved with the city and understanding the fans. You would have thought maybe the ownership would have took a leaf out of Klopp's book, but didn't. And there's a lot to learn, but I'm not going to be a knee-jerk. It's easy being knee-jerk. You've got to sit back, as Zane says, relax, take it easy, look at the situation. Let's see what this summer brings. And see where we are at the end of this season. Reevaluate it. It's been crazy, guys, for everyone the last 12 months. We're in a 100-year pandemic. You know, this is ridiculous stuff. I mean, so I'm just going to reevaluate. I just want this season to end. And if we can get top 4, I'll be over the moon.
So, Zane, Dave mentioned there about having a representative on the board, a fan representation. What do you think of that? Should that be our next step now? Should that be our next announcement that there's representation of the fans on the board?
Yeah, I think definitely, because this decision showed what can happen if you don't consult with the fans, you don't consult with the manager, you don't consult with the players. So we definitely need someone who we all think is representing our interest, because this will be like the most cliche thing ever, but Liverpool Football Club is nothing without the fans. They would be nowhere without the fans. So it only would make sense for someone to just go and represent interests in board level. I think that will be the right thing to do.
So to wrap up today, we're going to both ask you the same question again. So Dave, score and first goal scorer for today.
2-0 Liverpool. Mo Salah, the king of Egypt, with a double.
Oh, nice one. And Zane, same question to you, score and first goal scorer.
I say 2-0 and Mane scores the first one.
Well, thank you very much, guys. Thanks for joining me. If you've liked what you've seen, please subscribe on our YouTube channel. Please follow Red Sky Pods on Twitter. Look at that live bird, that beautiful live bird there. Thanks very much for joining us. And we'll see you for our post-match reaction. Thanks very much, guys.